Hi everyone. Super social media. I haven't been here in a while. I haven't been here in quite a while. Anyway, hope that everybody's having a great weekend. Beginning of Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. Hope everyone is doing good. Anyway, I came on here on live today because something has been, I've been thinking about something and it's been on my mind for quite a while since I went back to my past videos. And it seems to me that I've been working up a really, like, stirring up a kind of like a conversation amongst commenters on the Alexandra Valores video. And her friends are coming out and speaking about my video and how they feel offended about me having her video up. And this video was done quite a while ago. Now, this video was about the intent, and I want to make sure that I make this clear to all of her friends and her family and those who are very close to her. And I want to make it clear that, yes, I look crazy. I want to make it clear to to her family, even to her family, but I'm not going to include her family because her family members have not really come forward and told me to take her videos down. It's just been her friends or people that she has known when she was living. And I just want to make it clear to all of her friends that the video is not made for the intention of hurting her family. It was not made with the intention of hurting her friends, and it was definitely not made for the intention of hurting or offending anyone. Since I received a comment today and people said, well, you didn't really know her. You don't know about her life. You didn't know about her life. You don't know about her family. Of course, I don't know her family. And of course, I don't know how she lived her life, and I don't want to create any kind of misunderstanding between the commenters or my viewers towards suicide and what my intent is on regards to making awareness of suicide prevention. I know that I've always come on this live talking about suicide, talking about the signs of suicide, and how I've had people who have come on my live, okay, and on my YouTube, I should say, and how they have spoken up about how depressed they feel, and and that, not that I'm going to say that I have saved anyone's life, but hopefully through the message that I'm bringing out and the videos that I post, hopefully someone will you know look at it and see, well, maybe I have those same problems and maybe I can relate, and maybe that can help them not to do something that later they can't go back on. My intentions of doing the Alexander Dolores 17-year-old who committed suicide because I believe that she felt, uh, she was shaming herself and you know, uh, you know, uh, not really, how would I say, she wasn't really happy about herself. And well, they found her and they found her journal. And the contents that were inside the journal were actually content that was actually very shocking. Okay, so when her family saw the journal, which they had no idea, they were very surprised at what their daughter had in that journal. Anyway, not to make it any more, tragic here, because we just want to make the family feel better. My intentions is not to hurt anyone. My intentions is to really bring awareness to suicide and how we can, try to prevent from young teenagers from feeling, hopeless, lonely, and, not feel that they're not loved and cared about and not being listened to. So the whole idea as to why I put up the video is for, if you feel or have felt the same way that Alexandra felt during her living life, then the whole point of the video is to seek help, is to, prevent suicide from occurring at such a young age, and also teenagers feeling trapped, like trapped and feel like they can't communicate with family, they can't communicate with friends because they feel like they could be criticized, or maybe perhaps they're going through a problem of bullying amongst friends and amongst students or classmates or peers that are bullying them. And so it's very hard, for kids also who feel like they have to make, their parents meet their standards. And the whole idea is that parents are aware and be aware of how their kids feel. I'm sure that her family were very on top of her. I feel that they were, and I'm not trying to put any blame on her mother or her father or her family or her friends. I'm not trying to put anyone down. Why should I? Who am I? Like, I feel like if I'm a YouTuber and I'm commenting, or if I'm making a video, hopefully, somebody will feel that I am helping them, and that they can relate to the video. That's what I'm trying to say. That they can relate to the video and say, well, maybe perhaps this is the way I feel, and maybe I shouldn't feel this way. Maybe I should talk to my friends. Maybe I should talk to a counselor. Maybe I should talk to a teacher. Maybe I should talk to a best friend. Maybe I should even talk to even someone that you feel confident with. To talk out how you feel. By the way, I have felt, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've been lately very depressed. And a lot of things have been happening to me. My dog, now is talking, I'm putting the focus on me so that people don't feel like, only trying to talk down on anyone, because I'm not. I just want everyone to know that, everyone goes through depression. I'm going through depression, and I'm going through a very rough uh, time right now, especially with that my animal was, my dog was bitten by another dog, and I had to use, money that I owed, or money that I needed for something else. I needed to take care of him because he was really badly injured by the other dog. But now my dog is fine. But now I am faced with trying to pay a debt, and another person would feel like the end of the world. Like they would feel very, like they can't handle a problem. But I'm trying to look to God and trying to be positive, and so sometimes we go through things that we feel like, we feel like we're alone, like we don't have anyone, like we don't have friends, we don't have family who won't really understand us and how we feel and why we do certain things. And maybe those things are not the best decisions that we make or the best choices, but they were done because you felt strongly about something or someone, or even about the situation. And, some people may not agree with what you decide, and many people don't agree on the decisions that you make. And sometimes those decisions can cost you greatly. Those decisions can really, make an impact in your life that you feel like, oh, I didn't make the right decision. I should have thought it out better. But the fact of the matter is that when you are faced with adversity in your life, you have to make a choice to try to overcome that adversity and try to find the solution or the problem to that adversity. Sometimes it can go against you. And so, yeah, like, many of the times the decisions that we make, a lot of people don't, a lot of people don't agree on. A lot of people will not back you up. A lot of people will not support on the decision that you made. And even though you're trying to make your, your decision, you're trying to make the decision that you made, you're trying to make a point, you're trying for others to understand why you made that decision and why it was so important for you to make that decision at a last moment. See, because many of the times when we make decisions, like I said, it could backfire one, or it could cost you greatly, even your livelihood. So, but when you make a decision on something that you believe in, you have to stick by it and stick by it. And though people don't agree with it, and even though you are depressed and, and you feel like you're alone in the world, it's not really that. It's just a temporary thing, or sometimes it could even go ongoing. But you have to believe that whatever decision that you make in your life is the best decision for you, is the best choice for you, and not be too focused on how people will react based on the decisions that you make. So, yeah, that can bring a great deal of depression because you feel like a lot of people are not supporting you on why you made that decision. People will lash at you. People will say, well, look, it has to be this way and not your way. And, you can't make people see, or, make people see why you did what you did. So I find myself in a position right now that, yeah, even though I made the decision, maybe it wasn't the best one, but I felt very strongly about it, and that the decision wasn't made because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to do it, or how would I say, though I know that I owed, or that I know that that was my responsibility to do, to go forward or to pay, I decided not to do it because I felt strongly that my animal was hurt and that he needed me at that time. And that because I am such an animal lover, you know, I decided to put aside even my livelihood, or put aside, things that I needed to do at that moment. So it was really very strong decision that I made. And what I mean by strong is that what would you have done in the position that I was in? Some people would have let it go and let the animal probably die, or probably whatever. If you're not that great of a animal lover, you know, that's usually the decisions that they make. But I decided that no, I wanted my fur baby to be okay. I wanted my fur baby to be all right. I wanted my fur baby to not feel hurt, not feel pain, and at that time, it was really a very challenging decision, but I made it. Well, after the decision that I made the decision, do I really regret making the decision? Well, it's really a 50-50. And really, you know, um, it really is going to cost me, like it's going to cost me a lot, but I decided that this was the best decision. I don't regret the decision. And many of my friends may say, well, because of the decision that you made, now you are probably not, you know, those decisions that you make may not be in favor of you when it is heard, or when you, go and talk to, it could be a lawyer, it could be a judge, it could be, a police officer, a sheriff, or whatever. They may not see your point. They may not see that what you did was the best decision. And so, like that, I felt very depressed. I said to myself, why is that? I felt like people were against my decision. I felt like, wow, like how come people can't see where I'm coming from? And I can see where, the company that I'm owing may not be so sympathetic, and I can understand that because like, you know, you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, but you did it because it was it was a decision that was last minute and also needed attention. So, but yeah, I felt depressed. I felt really depressed, and I still feel like I'm depressed. I still feel like, you know, why me and why at this time? Why is all this happening to me? Why is people are not understanding? And sometimes really when you are in a position that, you can't financially, you find yourself strained. Sometimes you lash out at the wrong people, and you feel lost and you feel hopeless and you feel like you're in the dark, or you feel like, life is just not going your way. So, and those moments are the ones that you have to be really strong. So, for those people who think that I cannot relate to, and her, and probably her, her life, or what she was thinking about herself, and feeling really like she was not worthy of anything or anyone, or even to her family, or whatever ticked her to do, that decision to commit suicide. It just takes one thing to trigger, you know, that. And so, I just wanted to make it a point that you, I, and everyone, we all go through battles. And yes, even though her friends don't like the video, and like I've said, I'm sure that I've made many videos and I've said, well, look, I'm not going to take it down. And of course, I'm not going to take it down. But I'm glad that her friends are responding to the video. And it's not with the intent of hurting her family. It's not with the intent of hurting her friends. And it's not with the intent of trying to glorify her death, or even try to, make any kind of monetary thing of her death. Uh, I am an aunt. I raised my niece and my nephew, and though I'm not a parent who has, a child, I can most definitely identify with how those her mother and father are feeling, and maybe not in a way that I can identify as a mother and father, but definitely as an aunt who has raised her niece and nephew. I just want to tell her family, and just reach out to her family and her mother and her father, and just her friends, that I am not an enemy, and I am not someone who goes around talking bad about someone who is so young, first of all, who had who had family who loved her, cared for her, and a great loss. My intent here is to have and, and to have a video that brings out awareness. Her video was one of those videos that was kind of a unique and different situation in many ways, because we have a very intelligent, young, bright, you know, um, bright future, and a bright student, very intelligent, excelled in her grades and in her class, and she had many friends. So, her situation was a very unique situation. So when we talk about her, when we talk about Alexander, we're talking about a very special individual who, you know, um, had a very deep, uh, you know, had a very deep emotion and had a very deep feeling about herself and her self-esteem and how she felt about herself and how she looked at herself every day, or you know and so even though she excelled, she was a bright student, very intelligent, you know she was a person who had a very deep depression, very chronic, and you know it just takes one thing to just snap. Whatever it was, we don't know, but my intentions here is for suicide prevention. And suicide doesn't have an age, doesn't have a color, and doesn't have a race. You understand? Is something that happens to people, and it happens in very different ways. So I just want people to understand that even I go to depression. I've been depressed these couple of days, and I do understand. And though I don't excel in school. I was never, I never excelled in my school. I never was one of those inventors and creators, and, I was one of those. I was, not, oh my glasses are crooked, not, someone who excelled in school, and I was always bullied because she had one vision, and my whole story. So, that's the opposite of what Alexandra was. And so may she rest in peace and find, uh, her family may find peace as well, because it's very sad to lose a child. And you can never replace your first child. You can never replace any child that you lose through suicide or through any other way. So I just wanted to say sorry to her friends that they feel so strongly, that they feel like, so strongly that they want me to take down the video. And a very important one, too. And so, I'm not going to take it down, but I just want everyone to know that my intentions are not to hurt anyone, not intentions to hurt her family as well. I hope that everybody has a great weekend, and happy Friday to everyone. Good night. Thank you for tuning in.